Hello, folks. This is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball, the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers to the drawing on February 27th, 2023. If you'd like to support my game, Decoding the Powerball, then please go to my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball. Thank you, and please subscribe. Okay, so if you've never seen my videos before, the object of my game is for you to correctly eliminate groups of numbers. There are 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball lottery. Only 5 numbers can come up as winners, so that means 64 numbers can't come up at all. So for me, I think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the 5 that actually do. Okay, in this video I'll be updating and making my picks. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the game card. This is where I try to eliminate the numbers and get it down to the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so you can see that I have 5 colors here: red, orange, green, blue, and purple. And those 5 colors represent the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go to the Powerball homepage and find out what were those 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so there were the 11, 24, 58, 66, and 67. The Powerball number was the 26, but right now I'm only concerned about these 5 white ball numbers. Okay, so I have those right here. Again, it was the 11, 24, 58, 66, 67. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put colors to these numbers like I did here in the past. Okay, so I'm going to get the colors off of the game card. Okay, so the game card, the 11, you can see the game card was for February 25th. And you can see that the 11 was red, the 24 was blue, the 58 was orange, the 66 was orange, and the 67 was blue. Okay, so the 11 was red, the 24 and the 67 were blue, and the 58 and 66 were orange. Okay, so I want to count how many colors I had, and that was 3 colors total. So now I'm going to make this 216 color code drawings I kept track of so far, and now a 3 color combination has now come up 104 times. Okay, so when you look at things, the overall things here, the majority of the time a 3 color combination comes up. Okay, and what that means is 2 colors are not coming up, and that's what I really want to focus on here. Okay, so I need to update the game card to the 27th. So I'm going to blank out the game card. Okay, so there's no colors on it, and now I'm going to put colors to it. Okay, so here's my red numbers right here. This is my color code. Here's the red, the orange, green, blue, and whatever's left over is purple. Okay, so I'm going to transfer these 15 numbers over to the game card as red numbers. Okay, going to start with the 11, the 24, the 58, 66, and 67. The next line down is the 11, so it's already taken, so I'll go to the 19, the 39, 44, and 65. The next line down is the 3, the 17, the 26, 38, and 54. So again, I'm going to make these red. And now I'm going to count how many red numbers I have on my game card. So over here I got 3, and 3 are 6. 4 is 10, and 4 are 14. So I'm going to put 14 up here. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the orange area. So I'm going to transfer these 20 numbers over to the game card as orange numbers. So again, it's the 8, 21, 31, 32, and 37. The next line down is the 31, 32, which is already taken. The 54 is taken, so the 60 and 63. The next line down is the 17, 26. 37 is all taken, so the 61. And the 65 is taken as well. So the last line is the 10, the 23, the 30, 54, and 65 are taken, so that's it for orange numbers. And now I'm going to count how many I have. So over here I got 3 and 4 are 7, one's 8, 2 are 10, and 1 is 11. So I'm going to keep 11 right there. Okay, so I already did it. So now I would move on to the green numbers here, and then the blue, and again, whatever's left over is purple. But I already did it, so just to speed things up, I'm just going to copy and paste. And now I got the game card for February 27th, 2023. So it turned out to have 14 red numbers, 11 orange, 17 green, 14 blue, and 13 purple numbers. Okay, so how I worked out this color code here, the results are that it gives me double digits per color. Okay, double digit numbers per color. Okay, and it's really consistent like that. So when you have consistency, things can get predictable. Okay, so I'm looking at this, and the majority of the time a 3-color combination comes up, and very, pretty close to it, a 4-color combination comes up. Okay, so you can see that a 4 hasn't come up in a long time, so I'm thinking that this is going to be a 4. So when that happens, I usually don't like to pick a color. Okay, so again, if you've never seen this video before, my videos before, I like to pick a color that I don't think is going to come up. But since I think 4 colors are going to come up, I'm going to not take that chance, and I'm just going to move on to my next strategy. Okay, my next strategy is the individual numbers. Okay, so here with the individual numbers here, you can see that here are the winning Powerball numbers, the 11, 24, 58, 66, 67. Okay, so I want to follow this line until I get to the 11 right here. So I'm going to make this red because the 11 is red. Okay, and I did that with the 24 and with the rest of the numbers as well. Okay, so I'm going to reduce this down so you can see the whole card. But basically what I did is I took all 69 numbers and I divided it into 7 different groups. Okay, so the first group is 1 through 9. This is the only group with 9 numbers, where the other 6 have 10 numbers for 69 numbers. And what I did for this big square right here, this is good for 5 drawings. And the reason why I did it like this is so I could look down here and say, okay, here's an orange number. An orange number hasn't come up in 5, 10, 15, 20. So it's just easier for me to count. Okay, but what I noticed is that since I broke it down into 5, is that the average hits is like 4. Okay, so there's 4 hits within these 5 drawings for this, 10 through 19 numbers. Okay, so the last drawing I got this correct. I said that there was going to be no 30 numbers, and I got that right. There's no 30 numbers in the last drawing. So this is what I look at, but I'm starting a new 5 here. Okay, and I like to look at this and say, okay, this is how this goes hand in hand with the game card here. Okay, I want to point out the 20 numbers here. And as I was going through this, I said, hey, here's a red number here. There hasn't been a red number in a long time. I think a red number is due. And finally it came up as the 23. Okay, and then again with the 26. So that's what I look for. I look for a color that hasn't come up in a while, and I say, okay, I think one is due. What's on the game card that falls into that color group? Okay, so I'm going to look at that real quick. So over here, I don't see a blue number. A blue number hasn't come up in 5, 10, 15 drawings on the 1 through 9 here. So I'm going to blow this back up, and I'm going to go back to the game card, and I'm going to look for the numbers of 1 through 9 and see if what I have for blue numbers, okay? So here I got the 6 and the 9 that are blue, so maybe one of these two numbers will be coming up. If not in this drawing, maybe really soon, okay? So I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at these again. So here with the 10 through 19 numbers, again, it's red, orange, green, purple. I haven't seen a blue in a little while, so it's been 5, 10, 15 drawings as well. So 10 through 19, I got the 14, that's a blue number. Okay, so I'm just kind of keeping this in the back of my mind right now. Okay, so for the 20s, I got red, orange, green, blue, purple. All 5 colors are right here, so that's really no big help. Again, with the 30 numbers, pretty hot in this 5 drawings. So I got red, orange, green. Here's the purple, so I got all 5 colors. Okay, so here's the 40 numbers. What I noticed about the 40s is, it's pretty blank through here. So I kind of reduce this down just a little bit. So you can see the 40s have been pretty blank. So I'm kind of thinking that a 40 number is going to be coming up here pretty soon. Okay, so I got red, orange, green, blue, purple, so all 5 colors are right here. So again, no big help. Looking at the 50s, I don't see a green number here in the 50s. Okay, so here it is right here. So it's been 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 drawings. Let's see what I have for a green number in the 50s. I got the 52 and the 59. Again, I just want to keep that in the back of my mind. And with the 60s, the last one, I got red, orange, green, blue, purple, so all 5 colors are right here as well. So again, I have 7 of these groups, and there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So I know that 2 of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the strategy is try to correctly guess what group will not have the winning Powerball number and eliminate those numbers off of my game card. Okay, so you can see that the 30 numbers have went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drawings in a row. Okay, so it missed this last drawing, and I'm going to predict that since it went 6 drawings in a row, it's going to miss a couple drawings in a row. So I'm going to say there's not going to be a winning Powerball number right here, and I'm going to get rid of the 30 numbers off of my game card. Okay, so usually I would pick a color and block out these numbers, but I decided not to do that for this drawing. So I'm just going to eliminate the 30 numbers off of my game card. Okay, so I'm going to block these numbers out. And this means I'm not even going to consider these numbers when I'm picking what I think would be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so the question is, can a 30 number come up? Absolutely you can. Okay, so this is where the betting comes in. Okay, so I'm going to spend $3 on a Powerball ticket, which includes the power play. So in other words, I'm betting $3 that none of these 30 numbers will come up in the next drawing. Okay, so if I'm correct with my bet and none of these 30 numbers come up, then I just reduced the odds for myself a little bit and just gave myself better odds of getting those 5 correct winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so moving on, the next thing I have is some groups. Okay, so this is group 4. So I call it group 4 because I divided it into 4 different color groups. Okay, so I'm just going to update this so you'll get the feel of things. Okay, so the winning Powerball numbers were the 11. So I had 1 in the red area, so I'm going to put a 1. And then the 24, which is right here in the blue. So this 1 represents the 24. Okay, then it was the 58, 66, 67. Okay, so that means there was no winning Powerball numbers in the orange area, and there was 3 in the green. Okay, so total, I hit 3 color groups, and the majority of the numbers were over here to the right side, so I colored this 3 green. Of course, if the majority was over here to the left side, I would color this 3 red. Okay, so this is where I am. Okay, so I got 2 numbers up here, and when I put in the 3rd number after this drawing, I'll be putting a color to it. Okay, so if there's 2 hits and 1 miss, I color it light red. If there's all 3 hits, then I color it a dark red. Okay, so if there's 2 misses and 1 hit, I color it a light blue. And if there's 3 misses, I color it a dark blue. Okay, so I gave myself 4 options, and I look at this and I say, okay, what color is this going to be? What color is the background going to be? Okay, so over here I put down how many triple hits there's been, and that comes up a lot, as you can see. Sometimes, you know, here's a couple of zeros in a row where that didn't happen, but the majority of the time there's at least 1 triple hit here. Okay, and this over here, this is how many blue marks that I have. So you can see I had 1 blue mark here, and that represents this right here. Okay, so I look at this and I say, okay, I have 3 options here for a triple hit. And I look at it and say, okay, which one do I think is going to be? So over here you can see that, you know, the majority of the numbers have been coming up over here on the left side. And I'm kind of thinking that this is going to be a red number. So if I'm correct and this is a red number, the majority of the numbers will be over here to the left side. Okay, and I'm kind of liking this red. So I think that at least 1 or 2 numbers will be coming up in this red area. Okay, so again, I just want to keep that in the back of my mind. But what I'm really looking for is a 0 like this. Okay, the strategy is to correctly pick where a 0 is going to be. So if I could have got this correct in the last drawing, I could have eliminated all these orange numbers off my game card and gave myself a much better chance at winning some kind of prize in the Powerball lottery. Okay, so that's how I look at things. Okay, so with this group 4, I have 7 of these option cards to choose from. And then at the end, I have an overview of all 7 option cards. Okay, so in the last drawing in the red areas, there was six hits and 1 miss. In the blue areas, there was 2 hits and 5 misses. The orange was 6 hits, 1 miss, and the green was 6 hits, 1 miss. Okay, so I had 1 blue mark here in the blue, which doesn't happen often. And then I had 8 misses for all 7 option cards, which is kind of a high number. And here, this red one is, did it hit all 7 option cards? So if I could correctly guess that all 7 option cards were going to be hit in the green area, I would look at all these green areas and try to, you know, correctly guess where that hit's going to be. Okay, so I thought there was going to be a hit here, so I'm looking at all the green numbers. Okay, so that's just a just showing you how I use the game. Okay, so this is Powerball number 1 here. Okay, so I have group 4, I got group 6. Again, I divided all 69 numbers into 6 different color groups. And then I have group 8 and group 10. Okay, so the reason why they're all evens is so I can have that majority either on the on the right side or the left side. Okay, so I have a Powerball number 2 as well. I'm going to update this one. So the numbers were 11, the 24 was orange, the 58, 66, and 67 were all orange as well. So that's 4 numbers. So there's no winning Powerball numbers in the blue area and no winning Powerball numbers in the green. Okay, so there's 2 color groups that got hit, and the majority of the numbers were over here to the right side. So I'm going to color that to green. Okay, so since there was 2 reds and a green mark here, I'm going to color it kind of like a lighter red. And if there's all 3, I would color it all 3 reds. Right here, I would color it a darker red. Okay, so here I had 2 hits, so I'm going to color it a darker red from lighter red from the one that had 3 hits to it. Okay, so this is why I like to show people, because sometimes it's hard to explain. Okay, so I had 1 blue mark right here, and then I had 1 triple hit right here. Okay, so I'm looking at this, and this is what I'm looking for right here. Compared to the others, you can see that, you know, it doesn't stay hot forever like this. I look at this as being really hot, and then it cools down a little bit, and that's the reason why I use red and blue, because this is really hot, and what gets hot usually turns cold after a while. Okay, so I'm looking at this and I'm saying, I think a 0 is going to be coming up here pretty soon. Okay, and I think I'm going to go with this one right here. So I'm going to mark this blue. And the reason why I mark it blue is because when I go and update this, I can look at this and I say, okay, this is the one that I picked, and I got it correct. None of these red numbers came up, or this number came up and burned me. Okay, so that's how I look at it. So I'm going to get rid of the 1, 2, 10, 11, the 5, 6, 31, 32 off of the game card. So I'm going to get rid of the 1, 2, 10, 11, the 5, 6, and the 31, 32 is already gone. And now I'm going to get rid of the 39, 40, 48, 49, and then the 35, 36, 52, 53, 54, and the 61. So I'll get rid of the 40, 48, 49, 52, 53, 54, and the 61. Okay, so if I'm correct with this pick, then I just knocked out 17 numbers, I do believe. 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 18 numbers I just knocked out, and hopefully I did it correctly. Hopefully these red numbers do not come up. Okay, so I'm going to move on to Powerball number 3, and I'm going to update this one as well. Okay, so I got 3A, 3B, 3C, and this is all 10 color groups here. And then I got a 6A and 6B where I have another couple of 6 color groups here. Okay, so I'm gonna update this here real quick. So again, it was the 11 in the yellow, and the 58 was in yellow, so I got 2 yellows. Then the 24 was in red, and then the 66 was in orange, and the 67 in green. So I got my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 winning Powerball numbers. So there's no winning Powerball numbers in the blue, no winning Powerball numbers in the purple, the turquoise, the pink, the brown, or the light blue. So I hit 4 color groups all total. The majority was to the left side. So I'm going to color this for red. I'm going to keep it red. Okay. So as you can see, I have things offsetted here. Okay. So now this one has no numbers at the top. Powerball number 3 has at least one number at the top. And the original Powerball has 2 numbers at the top. Okay, so I have it staggered like this. So I always have at least one of these with 2 numbers at the top. Alright, because now I'm going to be putting colors to it. And this gives me an advantage. Or I think it's an advantage anyways. Okay, so again, I have 7 of these option cards. And I'm going to go through these and I'll see if I see anything that really stands out. Okay, and I usually, go through these pretty quick because again, I got 4 color groups and 5 white winning Powerball numbers, and it's hard to get these correct. But if I can, then I can knock out a bunch of numbers for myself. Okay, so I look at this and I say, okay, it looks pretty green over here. So the majority of the numbers have been coming up over here. So I'm thinking, okay, where's that 0 gonna be, or where's the hit gonna be? Okay, so I got 2 options for a triple hit. That comes up a lot. And I'm thinking that this red is probably going to have a triple hit to it. Okay, so I'm looking over here. I'll look at my game card real quick, see what I have left. And again, I'll just keep that in the back of my mind. Okay, so moving on. Again, I have 3 options for a triple hit here. I'm thinking the red again. Okay, so I'm looking. Again, the main thing that I'm looking for is a 0. Where's that 0 gonna be? Okay, so again, I usually kind of breeze right through these because again, they're so hard to pick. Okay, so here's another really red spot here. So it's like, okay, is the 0 going to be right here? I don't like it, so I'm going to leave this one alone. Okay, and I'm going to move on to the group 6, where I know that at least one of these colored groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so it's a bigger advantage from group 4, but group 4 knocks out more numbers than group 6. But of course I got better odds of correctly knocking out those numbers with this group 6 than group 4. Okay, so I'm looking at this. Okay, the first thing that kind of catches my eye is this, hey, a bunch of green over here. And again, that means the majority of the Powerball numbers have been coming over to the right side. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a red number. So I think the majority of the numbers will be over here, which means if I'm correct, then one of these color groups over here on the right side has to have the 0 to it. Excuse me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the overview. Again, I have 7 of these option groups, option cards, I mean. And again, I want to go over what the overview was for all 7 option cards. Okay, so kind of the first thing that catches my eye here is these single blue marks here. You know, you look at it and say, okay, when's it gonna double up, like right here? So I got that with the green and the purple. And I just kind of look at the history of things and I say, okay, here's a good streak of red right here, which means these blue numbers have been really hot. And it's kind of the same with the yellow over here. So I'm thinking, you know, the green, purple, yellow is where I'm going to look for like a blue mark or lots of misses anyways. Okay, so in the last drawing there was 16 misses total, okay, or 16 zeros. And that's kind of like, you know, usually the average between 14, 15, 16, I guess. Which means that there's plenty of the zeros to choose from. But I don't really like any of these, so I'm going to leave this one alone, okay? So, over here I have the triple hit and the triple zero. I do have 2 triple zero options. Triple zero hasn't come up in the blue in a long time, and here in the green it just barely came up. But again, over here you can see that it doesn't happen very often. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this one alone. This is why I gave myself so many option cards, so I could say, I don't like that one. It's not giving me enough information. The same with this, it's kind of back and forth with the red and the green. Okay, so here I like this purple. Big streak of red. Okay, you know, what I'm looking for here is a darker green, which means that all 3 numbers are green. And I'm kind of thinking that this is going to be a green number, which means again that the majority of the numbers will be over here to the right side if I'm correct. Okay, so I don't like this one either, so I'm moving on. Okay, another thing that catches my eye, you can see that this third zero right here, this zero. I look at this zero, and I call it a single zero because there's no zeros on either the top or the bottom. And then finally you got two zeros here, so I look for that as well. It's like single zero, single zero, single zero. Well, when's it gonna double up? When's that zero gonna double up? Because it seems to happen a lot. Okay, so over here I got a triple zero that hasn't come up in a while. Doesn't seem to come up in a while, but I have one here in the purple. That could be a triple zero like this. Hasn't hit in a while. I might come back to this one. Okay, so the first thing I notice here is all this red over here. I'm thinking that this number is going to be a green number, which means I believe the majority of the winning Powerball numbers will be on this side. This triple hit usually comes up. Usually there's one, and the only one that I have is this blue. That could be a triple hit. Just keep that in the back of my mind. Okay, so moving on. Here you can see a streak of 3 red, and I see that right here. In the past, you know, that's as far as it went, is 3s. There's another 3. So if this is 3 here, then this means that this has to be a 0 right here. You know, I look at the past and it's been really green through here, so I'm thinking maybe this purple would be a better Alright, so I'm going to move on. I do like this yellow right here. See lots of green over here, so I'm thinking that this is going to be a blue mark with another 0, like right here. And I'm going to go for that. So I'm going to go for this one. And I'm going to get rid of the 15, 24, 32 and 15, 23, 24, 32. So I'll get rid of the 15, 23, 24, and hopefully those numbers do not come up. And then I get rid of the 21, 29. So I'll get rid of those two numbers and hopefully those do not come up. And then I get rid of the 36, 37, 46, 54, 56. So I'll get rid of the 46 and the 56. And again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to Group 8, where I have even a bigger advantage with 8 different color groups and only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. I know that 3 of these colored groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so I have 9 of these option cards. And I'm just going to go and check out the overview of all 9 of these option cards here. Okay, so if you see this this border, this means that, you know, they just kind of flip. So it came up 4 5, and then the next one was 5 4, and that seems to happen a lot. Okay, so when I see something that hasn't done that in a while, did the flip-flop thing here, then maybe it's due to happen, because it seems to happen a lot. Okay, so this red, maybe this will have 6 hits and 3 misses to it. But if anything, I kind of like this blue to have a 4 or 5. That means at least 5 out of the 9 option cards will have a 0 or a miss to it. And I'm looking at this single blue mark, single blue, single blue, single blue. So when's it going to double up? So maybe it'll be at least 5 zeros in the pink as well. So I'm going to keep an eye on the blue and the pink. I'm going to hit the home button, which will bring me right back to option card number 1. So again, the blue and the pink. Okay, so over here, I see that there's a lot more triple zeros to be had, okay? So I'm looking at my options. I got the red and I got the green to be triple zeros. And I'm looking at it, you can see the green hasn't had a triple zero in a while. You know, compared to the other color groups, you get the red, the blue, the orange, here's the purple, bunch in the yellow, turquoise and pink, all pretty close at the top, but this green one hasn't had it in a while. So I'm going to go with this green to have a triple zero to it. Okay, so I'm going to mark it blue again. And I'm going to get rid of the 27 to the 34. So I'll get rid of the 27, 28, and hopefully those 2 numbers do not come up. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so again, you know, I could look at another one here and say, okay, I think the 0 will be here or whatever. But I look at it and say, okay, hey, if I get this green correct and none of these green numbers come up, then the odds of me getting another one correct just go way, way up. You know, not impossible, but the odds go way up. So I look at it as, I'm sure you heard the saying, divide and conquer. So this is how I divided numbers, and now I just try to conquer it, you know, one miss at a time here, okay? So that's how I look at it. So now I'm going to try to look at this option card number 2 and conquer this one, I guess. And see if I could correctly pick where the 0 is going to be. Okay, so looking at this, kind of thinking that there's going to be a triple zero, and I got 1, 2, 3 options for that. I did say the blue or pink I really liked, so I think I'm going to go with this pink. And I'm going to get rid of the 8 to the 34, and then the 42, 43, 51, 60, 69. off my game card. So I'll get rid of the 8, 17, 26, the 42, 43, 51, 60, 69. So that just knocked out a bunch of numbers. And again, hopefully I got that correct and none of those numbers come up. Okay, so moving on. Okay, I'm looking over here at this pink. It's been pretty hot, and what's hot usually cools down after a while. So I'm going to say that the 000 is going to be right here. I have two options. Hopefully this pink will come through for me. And I'm going to get rid of all these pink numbers off my game card. So I'll get rid of the 7 and the 14. And the 9. So that gets rid of 3 numbers anyways, 3 more numbers. And again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so moving on. Again, this pink has been really, really hot. Hopefully it's due to cool down. I'm hoping that this is going to be a 0. And I'm going to get rid of all these pink numbers. They're all evens. 54, 56, 58, 60, 62, 64, 66, 68. So I'll get rid of the 58, 62, 64, 66, 68. And knocks out a bunch. So hopefully I got that correct. And none of those numbers come up. Okay, so moving on. Option card number 5. See a bunch of red over here, so I'm thinking that this number is going to be green, which means the majority of the numbers will be over here on this side. I kind of like this pink to have a hit to it this time. So I got the 4150 still in that area. Okay, so I got 1 000 opportunity here with the red. And there's usually a 000. There's usually a 000 that comes up. I see lots of red. I think that this is going to be a green number, which means I believe that the majority of the numbers will be on this side. So I'm going to go with this red. And I'm going to get rid of all these numbers if there's any left on my game card. The 16. So I'll get rid of the 16 and hopefully that number does not come up. Okay, so moving on. Kind of like this turquoise right here. It's been wicked hot. Hasn't had a 000 in a while. I'm going to go with this. Okay, so the 37, 38, 46, 47, and the 52. Get rid of the 47. And the 59. Okay, so that's 2 more numbers off of my game card. And again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so moving on to number 7. Looking at this, I see lots of red here, so I'm thinking that this is going to be a green number, which again means I believe that the majority of the numbers will be on this side. And I'm kind of thinking, I like that blue, but I haven't picked one yet. There's usually a 000. The only one I got is this purple. So I don't really like this one. I'm gonna move on. Okay, see lots of green. Like that pink. That's been awful hot lately. Thinking that this is going to be a 0. I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to get rid of the 5 through the 9, which I know there's no numbers there, and then the 38 to the 65. I'll get rid of the 65. Another number off of my game card. Okay, so I got 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17 more numbers. I need to get down to 5. Okay, I see a bunch of red over here. Been a long time for a dark green. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a green number, which again, I believe the majority of the numbers will be over here to the right side. 000s have kind of been sporadic over here. I think it's due to have one. I think I'm going to finally pick that blue to have that 000 to it. So I'll get rid of 37, 45, 53, 61. So I'll get rid of the 45. Then the 49, 59, 69, and the 43. You can see they're all gone. Okay, so I think that's it for my group 8. So now I'm going to move on to group 10. I only have 3 of these option cards. But usually I pick more than just one here, because I know that there's going to be 5 of these option cards that cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so a 000 happens a lot. That you can see there's only one 0 here. So for options, I got the purple, turquoise, and brown. And what I look for is a 000 that hasn't come up in a while, like this pink here. You can see a 000 hasn't come up in a while, but this one can't be a 000, of course. So this is like really no help. So I'm going to move on to the next one. Okay, a 000 in the red, turquoise, pink, and light blue. And here with this turquoise, you can see the 000 is way down here. So I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to go with the turquoise. And I'm going to get rid of the 2, 22, 15, 26. So I'll get rid of the 22. then I'll get rid of the 36, 52, 56. And of course there's no numbers there. Okay, so moving on. Again, I got the red, green, pink, and brown. And this red one is kind of like the lowest one over here, so I think I'm going to go with that. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the 12, 18, 20, 22. So I'll get rid of the 12, 18, 20. And again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so I know the 16, 26. I'll check out the 31, see if that's still on. Nope. Okay, so now I'm going to check out the overview. And again, what I look for is a 03 that hasn't come up in a while. So you can see that like this purple or the turquoise. So I like the turquoise and I like the red because of all these single blue marks. Maybe it's due to double up like right here. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to pick the red and the turquoise, all three option cards, to have a 0 to it. Okay, so here's the red and the turquoise. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the 3, 4, 44, 63, 65. So I'll get rid of the 3, 4, and hopefully those numbers do not come up. And then I get rid of the 40, 57. Oh, here's the 63. I got to get rid of that as well. Okay, the 57, 63. And now the turquoise, the 8, 27, 30. No numbers to get rid of. And then the 43, 52, 54, 56. And there's no numbers. Okay, so I'm getting down there. I got 2, 4, 6, 8 numbers. I got to get rid of 3 more. And I thought it would be a 4 color combination, but a 2 color combination hasn't come up in a while either. So hopefully it'll be that 2 color combination, because that's all I got left. Okay, so moving on. Again, I picked the turquoise here, so I'm going to go with the red. So I got the 6, 17, 32, and the 21. There's no numbers there. So I got the 47, 50, 63. I got rid of the 50. Okay, so now I just got to get rid of 2 more numbers. So here I picked the red, and now I'm going to go with the turquoise. I got the 39, 49, 57, 67. I got rid of the 67. And then I got the 53, 63. Okay, so that's it for all the option cards here in this Powerball number 1. So now I'm going to go to Powerball number 3, where at least I have one number to go by. Again, this is mostly all group 10, so I'm looking for this 000. And I'm looking for one that hasn't come up in a while. And the one that catches my eye is this blue. You can see that there's never been a 000 here. Where all the other color groups, I guess for the turquoise, has had one. Okay, so I kind of like the turquoise or the blue. I think I still have that 55. I do. So I'll get rid of the 55. And that will bring me down to 5 numbers. Okay, so hopefully I made the correct picks and none of these blocked out numbers come up. Because I'm going to go with the 13, the 19, the 25, the 41, and the 44. Which I kind of like these 40 numbers because I said in the beginning that, 40 numbers haven't really been coming up lately. Okay, so now I'm going to pick a Powerball number. Okay, so on this side, I just want to say there's 26 Powerball numbers total, the red numbers. So I just divided them into two. So if you see a blue number, that's low, 1 to 13. If you see a red number, that's high, 14 to 26. Over on this side, I just divided the numbers into odds and evens. So if you see a red number, that's odds. If you see a black number, that's evens. Okay, so looking at this, I look over here, I see a 5-0. Now I just want to say a 3-2 comes up the most. Okay, so it went, 3-2 kind of had this little streak. Then 4-1, 4-1, and then this 5-0. I think that this is going to be a 3-2. So I think that this next one's going to be a blue number. And over here, you can see that it's been 3-2, 3-2, 3-2. I had this 4-1, and then it went on a pretty good streak of 5. Then I had a bunch of 4-1s here. Then this went on a really long streak of, I believe it's 9, before this 4-1 came up. So I'm thinking that, well, here's a streak of 9. And then here's another streak of 5. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a smaller streak here. So I think that this is going to be 4-1, which means I think that this is going to be another red number. Okay, so one thing that I notice is that this pattern, like this 23 comes up, and then the 13 came up, and then the 23 comes right back up. Okay, kind of like a leapfrog. Okay, that happens a fairly good amount of time. Like here it is with the 25, 7, 25. The 2, 15, then the 2 again. 17, 10, 17. Okay, so it comes up fairly often, and the last time it did it was this 23 right here. The 23, 13, then the 23. So it's been a little while since that's happened. Okay, so I think that this is going to be 3-2. So I think another blue mark is going to come up, and over here I think it's going to be 4-1. So I think another red mark is going to come up. So I think that this 7 is going to leapfrog, hopefully, because I'm going to go for it. I'm going to say that the 7 is going to come up as the Powerball number. Okay, so Powerball number 7. Okay, so like Sherlock Holmes would say, it's a matter of deduction. So if these blocked out numbers don't come up, then these five highlighted numbers have to come up. Okay, so that's how I see it. So let's go over the odds real quick. The odds of getting the grand prize, all five white ball numbers in the red ball, are 1 in 292 million. Okay, so you can see that my game is pretty much geared up for the five white ball numbers. So getting those, the odds are 1 in 11,688,000. Okay, so in other words, you can make nearly 12 million five number combinations out of 69 numbers. Okay, so I don't want to say that this is going to be easy to do. Okay, so another great prize would be four white ball numbers in the red ball that pays 50,000 plus the power play if you play it. You can see the odds are just about 1 in a million. Okay, so I just want to go over my budget. Okay, so if I play every Powerball drawing for the year, there's 3 per week. That's $9 per week. Times 52, that will come out to $468 that I will spend playing my game Decoding the Powerball. Okay, so in closing, I just want to thank you for watching. Again, you can support my game through my Patreon page at patreon.com/decoding the Powerball. And if you'd like to give me any feedback, then please email me, at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Okay, again, there's no the there, so it's just decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Okay, so there's a pretty good prize. We're up to $131 million for this drawing. So I want to wish you the best of luck with your picks.